Good morning. Hello. Thanks for joining me today. I'd like to guide you in a gentle practice today, just a practice that is going to move your body in a kind and gentle way, as you always should move, right? So, this is for those times when you just want a gentler practice. And maybe that's always, I really like a gentle practice myself. So allow yourself to arrive on your mat, sitting cross-legged or in any way that feels comfortable for you. You might take several deeper inhales and sigh away the exhales. And do that a couple of more times. The breath always has the power to soothe your mind. Try to remember that and maybe take those letting go breaths throughout your day. I know I try to. A longer, exaggerated inhale and then sighing out the exhale. And when you're ready, if you like, you can close your eyes and let yourself arrive. Imagine there's a mental settling, like you're waiting for your mind to arrive in this moment. Waiting for your mind to settle in your body, waiting for your mind to settle on the breath. Begin to notice your breath. Notice how your breath feels right now. And then you might imagine breathing into the chest, around the heart, all the way down, up to the top of the head, not down, up. And then as you exhale, the exhale washes down through your shoulders, your chest, your hips, your thighs, onto the ground. Breathing into the heart, up to the top of the head. And exhale, imagine the breath washing to the outside of the body, through the shoulders, arms, chest, belly, down into the ground. Continue breathing into the heart, letting the breath come up to the top of the head and then raining down all the way down to the ground like a fountain. So if this feels really good, stay with this visualization, breathing into the heart, up to the top of the head, and then raining down. If you feel like you can deepen the breath a little bit, imagine breathing in through the tailbone, up through the belly, the heart, up through the top of the head, and exhale down the sides, all the way back to empty. Breathing into the pelvis, the belly, the chest, up to the top of the head. Let the exhale rain down to all sides. You might even begin to notice as the breath releases the shoulders, release the arms, release the belly, softens, everything spills down to the ground. So that your breath is like a gentle fountain, refreshing everything it touches, first on the inside as you breathe in, and then on the outside as you exhale. After the next deep exhale, release the breath and just pause for a moment. Notice how you feel. Maybe you feel a little more present, a little calmer, a little soothed. And then make your way onto hands and knees for some. We're going to begin some movement. So come onto hands and knees, and when you're ready, find your tabletop position. Your fingers are fanned out. You might explore just letting your belly drop for a moment and then zip up the belly from the pelvis to the lower chest. Keep the back flat so you're not arching the back in any way. Keeping the navel hugged in just a little bit, pressing into all 10 fingers. And as you exhale, keep the navel hugged in and pull the hips towards the tops of the toes as the chest and forehead come down. And as you inhale, rise back up into table, keeping the navel hugged in. Exhale, pull back. Stretch that lower back, stretch the whole spine. Inhale, rise forward, keeping navel hugged in. Back and forth at your own pace. You might start to feel some sensation in the lower back. This is a stretching sensation. You're opening that space in the lower back. And to me, it feels really, really good. You might just stay with these gentle pulls towards the back of the room. If your body wants more movement, the next time you come forward, keep going. Let your belly drape down, your heart come forward. And then exhale, hug the navel back in and flatten the spine, pull all the way back into extended child. Do that a few more times, either rising forward to table and then back, or keep going and kind of hammock the belly down. Inhale back through table. And the next time you're in extended child, pause here for a moment. For the first few breaths, you can keep the arms to the front. Imagine the breath going up and down the back body, and then maybe bring the hands in and make a pillow with the hands for the head. Feel the breath filling the back of the body. So yoga really is an exercise of moving with the breath, of staying with the breath, of coming back to the breath again and again and again. You'll notice the mind wanders, and every time it wanders, just gently escort it back to the breath. And then press into the hands, gather the belly in, come to sit on your heels. So if that doesn't feel comfortable for your body, you can kneel up high. And breathe. Bring the shoulders up to the ears, squeeze them up to the ears, and keep squeezing and breathing. Keep squeezing, you're tightening the shoulders, and then sigh the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe shake out the arms. So again, you can either stay up high or sit on your heels. Wherever you are, keep your back flat. And then let your chin drop towards your chest. You might even turn the palms face up to release the shoulders a little bit. Let your head just hang, and then maybe let your chin paint little smiley faces on your chest. Very slowly, starting with baby smiley faces, and maybe making the movements, allowing the movements to get bigger if they want to. And eventually you might bring the chin all the way towards the shoulder and then back down. side to side. Loosening up the neck. And come back to center. Bring the head back to center. Shake out the arms. Make your way back into table position and onto downward facing dog. Tucking the toes, lift the knees and the hips, and walk it out. Maybe lift one heel up high, bend that knee, look under that arm, pull the opposite heel down to the ground, and then come up high on the opposite toes, pull the other heel down, look under the armpit, side to side. And gently walking the feet towards the hands and just rest or hang in forward. Fold soft to the knees and just hang for a moment. Release those long sighs if you like. If you like, nod the head, yes. Shake the head, no. Gently side to side. And then press into the feet slowly. Peel up to standing. The shoulders come up last. And then roll the shoulders back and down. Maybe start out with some shoulder rolls. Deep, delicious shoulder rolls. Breathe. And maybe reverse those shoulder rolls. Release the arms and then just shake out arms and legs. Maybe just take one arm and shake it all around like you have water on your fingertips and you don't have a towel. You just washed your hands one of the million times, right? And then shake out the other arm. Shake it all around. Shake out both arms. And just let that shaking shake out your shoulders. Maybe shake out one leg. And then shake out the other leg. Shake out both legs. Just kidding. Shake out the whole body. And if you like, release moans and groans. Just allow yourself to shimmy and shake. Allowing all that stress to drip onto the floor. Let's let that movement morph into empty co-sleep. Step the feet a little bit wider and let arms sway side to side. Pick up the opposite heel. Arms are wrapping around the hips. Ha, ha, ha. The body loves to move, so just let your body move in whatever way feels really good for you today. Ha, 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 ha. Remembering the neck is moving as well. Ha, 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 ha. Good, come back to standing. Keep the feet wide, let the arms hang alongside the thighs. Press into the feet. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, let the right arm reach down the right thigh without moving the hips. Find where your neck is comfortable, so it might be better to look down. Keep the, neck neutral. Breathe. Imagine you're breathing up and down the left side body. Keep the feet, the hips, the legs taut. And inhale back up to center, pause for a moment. And then exhale, the left arm starts to snake down the left leg, yes. Stay with the breath. Again, the hips are stationary, so you're pressing equally into both feet. Find where your neck is happiest. Maybe looking down. And inhale back up. Pause for a moment. And then come side to side, and maybe the opposite arm peels up the side of the waist. So as you're reaching down to the right, the left arm reaches up. And then as you're reaching down to the other side, just come side to side. Again, your hips are not moving. Just your upper body is moving. And one more time, each side. Come back to stillness. Maybe heel toe the feet a little bit closer. Let's move up to hip circles. Start to circle your hips and do it really slowly, just exploring the movement of your hips. Notice where the hips may not want to go. And reverse the circles. And if you find a tight place, you can go back and forth over that place, like you're kind of smoothing it out. Let your upper body follow the circles of the hips. And again, shake it out. Step to the front of the mat. Begin in mountain pose. So rock forward and back between the heels and the toes. And find where your feet are grounded, soften the knees, lining up the hips over the ankles, lengthening the spine by pressing down into the feet. Arms hanging down by the sides. You might lift the rib cage off the hips as long in the back as the front, so not lifting the heart, lifting the whole rib cage. Your legs and your hips are very active, so you're pressing down into the ground. And that pressing down into the ground, you start to feel your abdominal muscles hug in as well. Your legs are active, you're breathing. Adding the arms to the breath, inhale, arms out to the sides and overhead, maybe even look up. Exhale, dive all the way down into a forward fold and just hang for a moment again. This time, if you like, hold opposite elbows and gently sway the arms side to side. Keep the knees soft, the feet and legs engaged. And then bend the knees deeply, sweep the arms forward, come into a low squat, hug the tops of the arms into the shoulder sockets, press into the feet, rise all the way up. If it feels good, you can add a little upper back bend. Exhale, hands back to the chest, pause for a moment, arriving in mountain pose. And let's keep flowing, inhale up. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. This time, inhale, halfway up, hands to shins or thighs, lengthen from the tailbone to the crown of the head, keeping knees soft, legs very active, navel hugged in towards the spine. Exhale, down into forward fold. Bend the knees deeply, sweep the arms forward, come into that low chair, press into the feet, rise up, maybe add a back bend if you like. Exhale, hands to the chest, pause to re-arrive. Realign in your mountain pose. Inhale, arms out to the side. Exhale, Dive down, forward fold. Inhale halfway up, lengthen. Exhale down. And then if you have blocks, you can use blocks here. Bring the blocks alongside your feet. Step the right foot far back. Sink the right knee down, coming into the lunge. You can keep the right foot tucked and press out through the sole of the foot, or you can press down into the top of the foot. If you're using blocks, bring the blocks under the armpits. Make sure that your hips are really low. And breathe. If you like, sweep the arms a little bit behind you and then sweep them forward and up and then sweep back down. Keep your hips really low. Keep pressing into that right foot so you're not leaning towards the left foot, the left thigh. The next time the arms come down, step the left foot back into table position. Coming onto hands and knees. Pause here for a moment, and then on your next exhale, round the spine away from the mat, coming into that cat shape, like a Halloween cat. Breathe. And then on the next inhale, heart comes forward, tailbone up, chin up, into that dog tilt. Imagine you have a big bushy tail and you want to touch the back of the head with your tail. And as you exhale, you want to tuck that tail under between the legs and come towards the nose with that tail. Back and forth, cat and dog. Maybe add a gentle smile. Keep all 10 fingers holding the mat. Inhale back into table position. Make your way all the way down onto the abdomen. Bring your hands alongside the chest, forehead, mouth, or chin to the ground, coming towards cobra. So the elbows are hugged in towards the rib cage. If your elbows are out to the side, bring them in towards the rib cage. And breathe. Get long from the tailbone to the top of the head, and as you get longer, your chest and head starts to float up, and then you can use a little arm strength if you like to come up a little bit higher. Exhale, get longer as you come down. Do a few more of those cobra waves, doing your best not to lead with your head, so you're leading with the sternum, the center of the chest. Exhale all the way down to the ground. Do a few more if you like. When you've had enough, you can rest on your belly. And for your resting pose, you can make a pillow with the hands for the head, just to let yourself arrive. Or you can turn the cheek to one side, bring the arms alongside the body, and just melt your whole front body into the ground. Maybe bend the knees, windshield wiper, feet side to side. And if your cheek is turned to one side, gently turn it to the other side. Get that neck stretch on the other side. Bring the head back to center, hands alongside the chest. Gather the belly in, come up into table position, and keep going. Pull the hips towards the heels into extended child. Get longer from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Inhale back up into table position. I keep having to pull my shirt down and come into table position. Maybe wag your hips to the left, look to the right, hips to the right, look to the left. Do that a couple of more times. Back into table. And then send the right leg behind you into balancing cat. You might turn the right toe, the big toe in just a little bit to lower the right hip. So there's a straight line from the head to the right heel. Breathe. Stay here or lift the left arm coming into full balancing cat. Try to keep the hips and the shoulders even with each other. Stay with the breath. Smile. Hug the navel in slightly towards the spine. Bring the left arm down, the right knee down. Again, you can let your hips go to the left, head to the right. Do that a couple of more times on each side. It's so fun. I really like doing that. And then send the left leg behind you into balancing cat. Again, you might turn the left big toe in just slightly to lower the leg. Breath washing up and down the spine. Maybe you're adding the right arm, and you don't have to. You can just keep the right arm down, just keep the left leg behind you. Breathe and smile. Bring the right arm down, the left knee down. Pull your hips back into extended child. Inhale forward into table. Activate all 10 fingers. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, come up into downward facing dog. And then inhale forward, the chest comes forward, the knees come back down, you're coming back into table. Untuck the toes, pull the hips back into extended child. Do that a few more times. Inhale forward into table, navel hugged in. Tuck the toes, activate all 10 fingers. Pike up into downward facing dog. And then float your shoulders forward, your knees down very, very gently. And pull your hips back towards your heels, extended child. One or two more. Moving at the pace of your breath. Anytime what I'm guiding is too much for you, you can always rest in child's pose. Or if what I'm guiding isn't enough, you can move faster. You can add more poses. You can come through plank if you like. So just really listen to your body. The next time you're in downward dog, maybe walk it out a little bit. And then take a slow stroll towards the front of the mat. And just hang for a moment. Soften the knees. Feels so good. And then bend the knees deeply, sweep the arms forward, come into a squat, rise all the way up. If you like, add that back bend. Exhale, hands to the chest. And shake it out. Having all kinds of issues with my shirt and my hair today. And breathe. Step to the front of the mat. Bring your hands to your hips. Take a moderate step back with the right foot. Keep the right hip facing forward. Keep the legs straight. Bring the arms forward, palms turned in, shoulders hugged into the shoulder socket. And then as if you're drawing a bow and arrow, slowly bend the right elbow, bring the right arm behind you, extend it all the way behind you. You might even look behind you. And then bring the right arm down alongside the left arm, the right shoulder forward, and do that a few more times. Open your bow and arrow. Let your hips follow the movement of the arm. Stay with the breath. Open all the way out and then sweep it down as you exhale. Opening your heart. Bring the hands to the hips, bend the left knee, step the right foot forward, shake it out. Starting again in mountain pose. Inhale, arms out to the side. Exhale, dive down, forward fold, flat back. Inhale, halfway up, hands to shins or thighs. Exhale, all the way back down. Again, if you have blocks, you can use blocks. Left foot steps far back. Sink the left knee down, coming into low lunge. Again, if you're using blocks, you bring the blocks under the armpits. Let your hips sink really low. Press equally into both feet. Press into that left foot to avoid hanging out on the left knee. If you want to add the arms, you can sweep the arms forward and up, and then back and down. Keep your hips low. And your arms are moving with the breath. The next time the arms come down, step the right foot back into table position. Come back into table, maybe wag your hips side to side again. And send the right foot behind you again, but this time the toes are on the ground, so you're coming into one-legged plank. All 10 fingers are fanned out. You're lengthening from the top of the head through the right instep. Hug the muscles in the arms, around the arm bones. Hug the muscles in the torso towards the center line. Lengthen from the top of the head through the tailbone. Breathe. Stay with the breath. Imagine you're in full plank. Everything is as tight as if you were already in full plank. Bring the right knee down. Maybe wag your hips side to side, and then send the left leg behind you into one-legged plank. Get long from the top of the head through the left heel. Keep pushing out through the left foot. Fingers are holding the mat equally, so you're not leaning to the left. Breath washing up and down the spine. Bring the left knee down. Come down onto the belly. Let's do that cobra again. Hands alongside the chest. Actually, let's do both instead. Bring the arms alongside the body. Forehead, mouth, or chin to the ground. On the next inhale, let your right leg float up just an inch or two, and your chest and head can float up as well. So someone watching might not even see any rising. Get longer from the right toes to the top of the head. Maybe the arms lift up just a little bit as well. Breathe up and down the spine. Each exhale, the shoulders are rolling away from the ears, melting out through the fingertips. Exhale down onto the ground, turn the cheek to the right. Bring the head back to center. Let the left leg float up just an inch or two. Your chest and head floats up. Maybe arms float up. Keep breathing up and down the spine. Each exhale, shoulders roll away from the ears, like the shoulders are melting out through the fingertips. On the next exhale, come down onto the belly, turn the cheek to the left, melt into the ground. Bring the head back to center, hands alongside the chest. Inhale up into table. Exhale, pull the hips back towards the heels, extended child. Inhale forward into table. Keep the navel hugged in. Pull the hips back. Continue pulling back. Like we did earlier, rise back up into table. Keep the navel hugged in. Exhale, pull the hips back. Do that a couple more times. And the next time you come forward into table, make your way into downward facing dog. And walk it out. Or stay stationary. Take that slow stroll to the front of the mat, coming into forward fold. Just hang. Bend the knees, sweep the arms forward into that chair pose. Press into the feet, rise up. Maybe add a back bend. Exhale, hands to the chest. Shake it out a little bit. Let's do some shoulder rolls. Start to bring your fingertips to the shoulders and circle your elbows. And maybe reverse those circles. You can add a little bounce in the knees if you like. Shake it out. And then step to the front of the mat. Begin again in mountain pose. Hands to the hips. Take a moderate step back with the left foot, keeping both legs straight, keeping the hips even with each other as much as you can. Press into both feet. Bring the arms forward. Palms turned in. As you exhale, pull the left arm back into that bow and arrow. Extend it all the way behind you. Look behind you, and then sweep the left arm down and forward. Again, the left hip follows, so you're not keeping the hips facing forward. Your whole body is following that bow and arrow of your arm. Breathe. Bring the hands back to the hips, bend into the right knee, step the left foot forward, shake it out. Let's do empty coat sleeves again, just to add a little bit more movement. Pick up the opposite heel, let the arms wrap around. Maybe this time bring the arms up to give yourself a pat on the upper back and say, good job. What a good job you're doing. Good job. And breathe. And slowly come back towards stillness. Step to the front of the mat. Bring your shoulders up to your ears and then squeeze them up to the ears. Keep squeezing, keep pressing down into the feet as well. And you're still breathing as well. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Shake the shoulders away from the ears. Bring the hands behind you, fingertips coming or thumbs coming toward each other across the lower back, fingertips coming across the front. Maybe add a little back bend and breathe. Keep your hips stationary and come back to center. Interlace the fingers behind the back and pull the knuckles away from the hips, away from the tailbone. And breathe. So you can keep the arms behind you and keep them quite low. If you want to add a little forward fold, so the shoulder blades are coming toward each other across the upper back. If you want to add a little bit more, bend the knees towards the center toes and then slowly let your belly drape down to rest on the thighs. So bend your knees that deeply. And let your head hang if you want. You can keep the hands behind you right on the hips, or you can let the hands come up off the hips. Soften your knees even more. Don't pull on the hands, so you're not forcing the hands to come higher than they want to come. Breathe. Unclasp the hands. Sweep the arms forward. Come into that chair pose, press into the feet, rise up. If you like, add a little back bend, hands to the chest, shake it out. Bring the hands to the hips and then take a big step back towards the, with the right foot. Keeping both legs straight now. You might inch your left heel to intersect with the right instep. Your hips are square towards the side as best as you can, but don't let the right knee come in. Bring the arms straight out from the shoulders, hug the tops of the arms into the shoulder sockets, and then let your hips come towards the right as the left arm reaches forward a little bit, keeping the torso straight, and then bring the left arm down to the left thigh or knee. Press the hand into the knee and the knee into the hand. And the right arm can come overhead, coming into triangle. trying to keep your hips and your shoulders square. Your left arm can stay in front of the knee or come behind the knee. Press into both feet and get longer by pressing into the feet. Breathe. So your whole body is in the same plane. You're not trying to reach down to the ground. You're just keeping your body in this triangular shape. Inhale, back up. Bring the hands to the hips. Turn the toes towards the space in front of you. Wag your hips side to side. And let's do the other side of triangle. Turn the right foot towards the right, the left heel towards the front of the mat. Keep your hips squared, arms straight out from the shoulders, legs straight. Hips go to the left as the right arm reaches past the right toes. Bring the right arm down to press against the right thigh or knee or wherever it is. And then the left arm comes straight up and you're making the straight line from the left fingers to the floor. Again, the right arm can come behind the right thigh. And again, you're trying to keep your left hip from coming forward. You're keeping your body. Imagine there's a wall behind you and you're lining up your whole back body with the wall. Inhale, back up. Bring the hands to the hips. Turn the toes in front of you. Bend your knees. Soften. And then step the feet together. Shake it out a little bit. Let's do tree pose today. So if you have a window and you can see a tree, you might turn towards that window and look at your tree. If you don't have a tree, you can imagine a tree in front of you. Starting in mountain pose, the knees are soft. Switch the weight to the left foot, lift the right heel. And just don't straighten keep the left knee a little bit soft so you're not hyperextending the left knee. And then lift and lower the right foot just to explore how it feels to balance today. And then you might stay in with the right toes on the ground. This might be your tree today, or bring the right foot to the inside of the right ankle or the right calf. Keep the left knee soft. If you want to add more, you can add your tree branches. And just let your tree sway in the wind. Allow the shaking and the wobbling. Look at something that's not moving. That'll help your balance. And don't hold your breath. So try not to guard against your breath, guard against movement. Just allow everything. Bring the arms back down, bring the leg back down, hold your belly and your hands in to receive Vrikshasana, tree pose. Breathe and smile. When you're ready, hands to the hips. Shift the weight to the right foot, soften the right knee a little bit. Lift the left heel. Explore balance on the other side, and then lift and lower the left knee a few times just to explore what it feels like to balance on this side. And then find where your left root of the tree wants to be, either toes on the floor, left foot to the inside of the right ankle or the right calf. Stay with I don't know if you can see, but my right leg is really wobbly. So I'm shaking a little bit, and that's okay. You can bring the arms out to the sides. You can add your tree branches. Let your branches be mobile. Don't be a petrified tree. Keep moving, keep breathing, keep allowing. Trees move so they don't break. Bring the arms back down, bring the leg back down, hold your belly in your hands, pause and receive Vrikshasana, tree pose on the other side. And then shake it out again. Step to the front of the mat. Begin in mountain pose, hands to the chest. Inhale, arms out to the side. Exhale, dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, hands to shins or thighs. Lengthen from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Exhale, back down. And do that a couple of more times. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, down. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, down. One more. Halfway up. And exhale, down. And then bend the knees. Bring the right foot back. Bring the left foot back. Come into table. And then make your way all the way down onto the back. Come down onto the back. Turn it a little bit so you can see a little bit more of my mat. There we go. All right, come down onto your back. And just arrive for a moment. Breathe. If it feels good, bring the knees into the chest, rock side to side on the lower back, or make circles with the knees. Giving the lower back a little massage. Bring the feet back to the mat. Bring the feet really wide. Bring the arms out to the sides, palms facing down. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, let the knees drift over to the right. Maybe look to the left. If you like, pause here for a moment. And then inhale. When you're ready, knees back, head back. And knees go over to the left. Right shoulder stays down. Both arms stay down. Come side to side. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. You can pause on one side for several breaths if you like, or keep moving, whatever feels better for your body. You're moving with the breath. Bring the knees back to center. Bring the heels close to the buttocks. And then let your right knee come into the chest. Hug the right shin or thigh in so the hands can be behind the right thigh or in front of the right shin or just to the sides of the right leg if that feels better for your shoulders. Breathe into the belly. Imagine the belly is really breathing into the thigh. So you're breathing into the right thigh. Soften the face, maybe tilt the chin towards the chest just a little bit. Maybe bring your head gently side to side. Just soften the neck. Keep the right knee hugged in. Slide the left leg long. Press out through the left foot. And then lift the left leg up to perpendicular. Press the lower back down. And then circle the left foot at the ankle. Rotating the left ankle. Keep the whole back on the mat. Reverse the circles. Imagine your whole spine is getting longer lying on the ground. Staying with the breath. Bringing the left foot back to center. Flexing through so press out through the left heel, down through the back of the left hip. Keeping the left leg straight, start to slowly lower the left leg down, pausing just before it touches. And then inhale, bring the left leg back up to perpendicular. Exhale all the way down as far as it'll go. And then inhale back up. So I didn't mean all the way down, I meant all the way down to hover, unless that feels better for your back to release the left leg. So listen to your back, listen to your body, listen to your breath. You might still be staying with the leg lifts, but whenever your body says that's enough, you can release the left leg Take your time. Once you've released the left leg, you might release the right leg. You might even bring the arms overhead and get really long on your mat. You might even lift the right arm and the right leg and get longer from the right fingers to the right foot, and then the left arm, the left leg, get longer from the left fingers to the left foot. Breathe, bend the knees and curl up into a little ball. Bring the knees into the chest, maybe even lift the head up. And then when you've had enough, bring the head back down, bring the feet back down. Pause for a moment to re-arrive. And then bring your left knee into the chest. Hands clasped behind the thigh, in front of the shin, or hands to either side of the right thigh, left thigh. Breathe. Again, explore where your neck wants to be. Feel the belly moving towards the left thigh. Slide your right leg long. Activate the right leg by flexing the right foot, pressing out through the right heel. Lift the right leg up to perpendicular. Once the leg is overhead, circle the right foot at the ankle. Let the shoulder, the collarbones melt towards the shoulder blades. Reverse the circle. So it's like the collarbones on the front of the chest are melting into the support of the shoulder blades on the back of the chest, on the upper back. Breathe. Bring the right foot back to flex, pointing out through the right heel, and slowly start to lower the right leg down, pausing at hip distance from the mat, and then inhale back to perpendicular. Slow, deliberate leg lifts. Again, unless that hurts your lower back, so the lower back stays connected to the mat, and there's no strain or pain in the lower back. Again, stay with your leg lifts as long as you like. When you've had enough, then this time bring the right knee into the chest, curl up into a little ball again. Keep the knees hugged in, release the arms, bring the arms alongside the hips, and then walk the thumbs under the base of the buttocks just to now force the lower back flat on the ground. And then send your legs up to the sky and start to scissor your legs. Bring your legs wide, and then dysfunctional scissors cross over. Keep the navel hugged into the spine. Keep the front of the chest melting towards the upper back, the chin coming towards the chest just a little bit. Stay with your scissoring legs as long as it feels good for you. If it feels good, you can also point the toes rather than flex the feet. That brings the leg, the scissoring a little bit lower down in the lower abdomen. Come back to flexing the feet if you like, or stay with pointing the toes. And when you've had enough, bring the knees into the chest. Bring the feet back down. Bring the feet wide, arms out to the sides, and then again explore the windshield wipering, knees side to side, just to release any remaining tension in the back. Bring the knees back to center, arms alongside the body, heels close to the buttocks. We're coming into bridge. Keep the knees, so make sure the knees aren't out to the side and the feet aren't out to the side. So your feet are hip distance apart from each other and the knees are right over the hips. The arms are right alongside the hips. Press into all 10 toes. Lift the hips up as high as they want to come without letting the knees splay out. And then slowly, with control, bring the hips back down. Again, the knees are not splaying out. And stay with bridge wave as long as you would like. If your body wants to do a little bit more, as the hips rise, you can bring the arms overhead to the floor behind you. And as the hips lower, you can let your arms come back down. So find what works best for your body. Make sure you continue pressing into all 10 toes so the feet are grounded from the inside of the feet to the outsides of the feet. When you've had enough of whatever version of bridge you want to be in, release back down, pause for a moment, and just checking the time. What happened? All right, I lost track of the time. Oh no, what will I do? And bring the right knee into the chest. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. So this might be plenty for you today. You can bring the right hand to the inside of the right thigh and then press the thigh into the hand and the hand into the thigh for a few moments. And then release and just stay here, or bring the left knee into the chest. The right hand can go between the legs. You can hold on to the back of the left thigh or the front of the left shin. And if that's causing your shoulders to really tighten and overstretch, you can release the hands and just imagine that the left foot is pressing against a wall. So there's an invisible wall that my left foot is pressing against. And I'm feeling the opening in the right thigh. The hands can come out to the sides or rest on the belly or on the thighs or whatever they like. Breathe. Soften the face. And when you've had enough, bring the left foot down, unwind the right leg, pause. And let's do the other side. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Keep the left foot flexed. Again, you can stay here. Just press the left hand to the inside of the left thigh and press the thigh into the hand and the hand into the thigh. Do that for a few moments and then you can release and just stay here. Or bring the right foot up. Imagine there's an invisible wall that the right foot is pressing against. The lower back stays pressed down. Or come into eye of the needle, bringing the left hand between the legs, clasping the hands behind the right thigh or the right shin. Since I did the other one on the other side, I'm going to stay with that invisible wall so I'm not lopsided. One hip isn't open more than the other hip. Breathe and smile. And bring the right leg back down, unwind the left leg. Lift the arms and legs and just shake it out a little bit. And then you can bring the arms and legs up and continue shaking them out. You can continue moving and just shaking them out or come into dead bug. So if the shaking feels really good for you, feel free to do that. You can even imagine like you're having a temper tantrum and you're just going, ah. Sometimes we all want to have temper tantrums. If you want to come into stillness, dead bug is just keeping arms and legs elevated above the ground. So just find what works for you. You don't have to. You can keep the knees bent. You can keep the elbows bent. You can keep shaking. You can scissor. So just keeping the limbs elevated above the heart really is very nourishing for the organs in the abdomen. It's a great little break for the heart. It's wonderful for circulation. It's soothing for the nervous system. So just allow your body to float, to shake, to stay stationary, to do whatever your body wants to do. I like to imagine my limbs are seaweed floating in a lake and just lazily allow them to float around. I love that visual of my limbs are seaweed. Bring the feet back down, the arms back down when you've had enough. Maybe let your hands rest on your belly for a moment. And let's do a gentle twist to finish up. Stretch the legs long. Bring the right knee into the chest. And then place the right foot loosely onto the left thigh or knee without putting weight on it. Bring the left hand to the outside of the right thigh. The right arm makes an A-frame down on the floor on the right. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, let your right knee come over to the left as far as it can without the right shoulder coming off the ground. And then breathe and just soften. Let the weight of the left hand on the right thigh soften the right hip. Maybe over time the knee comes over to the left further, but without the right shoulder coming up off the ground. And just breathe into the twist. Your knee might be really at center, so don't force your body to come into the twist. Wait for your body to allow the twist rather than forcefully entering the twist. Just like with everything else in yoga, wait for your body to be ready. Work with your body today, just the way it is. Roll the right hip back down, bring the right foot to the mat, bend the left knee, bring the left foot to the mat, square the hips and the shoulders back into the mat, and then stretch your legs long. Bring your left knee into the chest, and then loosely place your left foot onto the right thigh, right hand to the outside of the left thigh, left arm out to the side. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, without letting the left shoulder come up, let the left leg come over as far as it wants. So again, your knee might be all the way up to center. Just stay there and soften into it. Let the weight of the right hand soften the left thigh, the left hip. Stay with the breath, soften the belly. Don't force, don't over effort. Stay with what's best for your body right now. When you're complete with the twist, slowly roll the left hip back down. Bring the left foot to the mat, bend the right knee, bring the right foot to the mat, square the hips and the shoulders back into the mat. If you like, hug the knees in, curl up into a little ball. If it would feel good, circle your knees to massage your spine. And then make your way into the best pose of all, final relaxation. So if you have something that you can put under your legs so that the legs aren't extended long. So maybe a bolster or a big pillow under the knees would be wonderful to let your legs lie on to keep your lower back connected. If it feels good for you to stretch the legs long and you have no back issues, you can do that. I'm going to keep my knees bent just to illustrate. For most people, it's kinder on your back to have some support under your knees. You can keep the hands to the belly or let arms come out to the sides. If you have a blanket or a sweatshirt or something, I'm actually going to get my shirt and put it on because I'm getting chilly. So layer up for your final resting pose and breathe. Make yourself comfortable wherever you are. So for the next few minutes, you have nothing to do, nowhere to go. I'm going to stay standing to guide you into final relaxation, but you stay on your back. I'm looking for something I can read you. I think I'm going to read you from Deep Listening by Jillian Pransky today. So let your body melt onto the ground. This is your well-deserved rest. Notice your breath. You don't need to control the breath, just notice your breath. And I'm looking for let your body fall into the ground. Land and relax more. No need to hold yourself up. Exhale, no need to grip your thighs. Effortless legs. Exhale, no need to hold onto your belly. Let your belly rest on the ground. The earth will hold you. Lungs rest on the earth. Heart free to rest on the earth. On each exhale, do less. Allow the earth to hold you up more. Let your breath flow effortlessly in and out of your body. Let your breath ripple your spine. Let your breath ripple your spine. As the ground holds you up, let your breath care for you inside. Relax more here, now, on the ground. Welcome your whole self into this moment. Welcome your whole self into this moment. I'm going to leave you in your final relaxation. Stay as long as you like. Allow your body to rest as long as it wants to. And thank you for sharing your practice with me. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you.